How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at some breakout stars today, and this is going to be probably the last Euros related video we do on the channel. It's Euros related, but sort of I thought it'd be a good transition for us into club football. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at all of the, I picked out 10 Euro breakout stars. So these are players who had really good Euros, who maybe people didn't expect them before the Euros to do as well as they did. And at the Euros they increased their reputation in the game massively. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign a club to these 10 players and give my suggestion, kind of acting as their agent, on where I think they should go and realistically they will go. So I've got a wide range of players here. Now I've chosen players specifically who could potentially actually leave their clubs. So someone like Lamine Yamal, for example, even though he was a breakout star, is not in this because it's not really realistic that he'll leave. But yeah, I'm going to go through 10. There are some others you could have included. Let me know who else you would have had on this list and where you would put these players in terms of clubs. So, as I said, this is probably one of our last Euros videos, so I'd just like to also take this time to do a massive thank you to all of you for your support during the Euros. And yeah, we will start to turn our attention to club football from now on, and the new season, and we've got plenty of content. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, first up, in no particular order, we have Giorgi Mamardashvili. Georgia, in their first ever Euros, put on an extraordinary display, qualifying for the round of 16, where they gave Spain a real fight, even going 1-0 up in that game. Before the tournament, if Georgia had just scored a goal, got a point, that would have been an achievement in itself. So what a tournament it was for them. They had quite a few standout players, but for me, the real breakout star, the guy who I think is bound for a move after his Euros, is the goalkeeper, Giorgi Mamardashvili. He conceded just 4 goals in the groups and managed to keep a clean sheet in Georgia's historic win over Portugal, while pulling off the most saves of any goalkeeper at the tournament. He was peppered every game, including the round of 16, but he stood firm, and it's not like a case really of a Choa where you just come out of nowhere in a tournament. He actually did very well for Valencia before this, and some big clubs were interested before the tournament even started. Newcastle reportedly put a bid in for him for around 21 mil, but that was rejected. I think now, after the Euros, Valencia will demand a much higher fee of around maybe 35 to 40 million, as he has shown on the big stage just how good he is. Some clubs that want a goalkeeper and could potentially go for him include Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool have been linked if Alisson leaves for Saudi, same with Man City with Ederson. But for me, I think that he's still 23, which is really young for a goalkeeper. He's got plenty of time. I'm not sure about his ball playing ability, as he never really passed out the back too much, but I think going to a top club right now isn't the best move. Newcastle for me would be the best option, but I don't know if they want a keeper right now, as they are looking at players like James Trafford, so maybe he's not really high on their list. Either way, I think Newcastle is a good stepping stone. See what his level is, get a taste of the Premier League. A team who aren't in Europe right now but will be there or thereabouts next season. I think it's a decent move for him, so Mamardashvili to Newcastle is my suggestion. Number 2, Jaka Bijol. The king of clearances at Euro 2024, Bijol made 38 at Euro 2024 for a Slovenia side which conceded just 2 goals and remained unbeaten all tournament, outside of their penalty shootout versus Portugal. His agent should expect a call from Ndoye in the coming days. The list of strikers Bijol helped Slovenia keep quiet is also very impressive. Rasmus Højlund, Alexander Mitrovic, Dusan Vlahovic, Harry Kane and Cristiano Ronaldo, who might not be at the peak of his powers, but a 25-year-old fresh from a Serie A relegation battle with Udinese should not have been able to handle these players with such ease. There was one slip in the England game which resulted in a yellow card, but Bijol was otherwise impeccable at the heart of a remarkably tight defence. He was absolutely terrific for them, and at age 25 he may be in for a move. He's quite a no-nonsense centre-back from what I'm aware. Maybe that was more of a system he played in, as Slovenia were very defensive. Maybe he is good on the ball, I don't know. But a team who plays deep could do with somebody like him at the back. And playing for Udinese, I don't think he would cost too much, so could be worth a punt. As I said, Ndoye loves the no-nonsense centre-back, so Everton could make sense. I think he would do well in the Prem, to be honest, just clearing every ball that gets put in the box. So maybe Aston Villa have been linked. I mean, personally, I wouldn't do that. I think their high line may not be the best thing. But I think Everton, maybe a Nottingham Forest, or Wolves. Wolves are looking for a new centre-back with Kilman gone. I think those could be some good moves for him. But I would definitely like to see him in the Premier League at a mid-table team. So that's my suggestion for Jaka Bijol. Number 3, Fabian Ruiz. If his name wasn't Fabian, you would be talking about him non-stop. He has everything, said Spain manager Luis de la Fuente after 3-0 thrashing of Croatia, in which Ruiz displayed some sublime footwork to score a fine goal and was man of the match. It was the sort of calm control he exuded against Italy. It's something close to the perfect midfield performance, as Spain laid down their tournament credentials early on. He then rested against Albania, scored on his return against Georgia, and impressed against Germany, France, and in the final versus England. Fabian has been a true breakout star at these Euros, as he wasn't really doing too much at club level the last few years for PSG, with some rather underwhelming years. But he's come to life at these Euros, and he's looking like a midfielder who could really be world class, to be honest. PSG may well give him more game time in a new role after these performances, but he's not really a regular for them, and I think if they get a decent offer off the back of the Euros, they will probably sell, so an opportunity is there for a club to buy him, and I think I have the perfect one. Now this might seem a bit reactionary and over the top, but based on what I've seen at the Euros, with how well him and Rodri have been linking up, they've been absolutely sensational together. They have a perfect balance in the midfield with Pedri or Olmo in there. I think you can tell where I'm going with this. Imagine the same midfield just with Kevin De Bruyne or a Foden or a Bernardo instead of Pedri or Olmo. It would be absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm suggesting he goes to Manchester City. Him and Rodri work so well together. I think under Pep, Fabian would thrive. Pep would absolutely love him, and he would actually be a big upgrade on Mateo Kovacic if we get the Fabian that we saw for Spain at these Euros. I doubt this move will happen, but if I'm Man City, I would try to make it happen based on how good he's been for Spain, and they could probably do with another midfielder in that role, to be honest, so it wouldn't be the worst move. Number 4, Giorgi Kochorashvili. Yet another Georgian player who has starred at the Euros. this is one you can definitely call a breakout star. This is perhaps the definition of a breakout star. Kochorashvili, before the tournament, nobody would have ever heard of this guy. In fact, if you tried looking me up on YouTube, nothing would come up. This guy was literally out in the dark playing for Levante in the second tier of Spanish football. Yet somehow was destroying Portugal and, in moments, Spain's world-class midfielders. It doesn't make any sense, but he was absolutely terrific for Georgia. He made an unreal assist in the Turkey game, and throughout the tournament was so calm and composed on the ball, dribbling and passing Georgia out of danger, even versus Spain and Portugal. He's only 25, and as I said, he's playing in the second tier of Spain, but he's clearly much better than that, and should be playing top tier football in a Big 5 league, in my opinion. At age 25, he's a perfect age for a big move. I'm saying he should go to a mid-table La Liga side if he wants to stay in La Liga, but for me, he should 100% be leaving for a top tier side. If I was to give him a Premier League team, I would say maybe one of the newly promoted sides could take a risk on him, being that sort of X factor for them. So a move to Ipswich or Southampton, maybe. I wouldn't imagine he costs that much, so I think that's a wise move. But he's been really, really fun to watch over Euros, and I really do hope he gets a big move off the back of this. Okay, number 5, we have Marc Guehi. Now, a much more household name you would be familiar with. Marc Guehi has had a very good tournament. There were concerns about the absence of Harry Maguire, but Guehi has settled brilliantly and has also shown this tournament that he's capable of playing at the highest level. Before the tournament, teams were linked, and people of course rated him, so he's not exactly a breakout star. However, he's now shown that he can perform against the very best in the pressurised situations on the big stage, which may attract some top clubs to now bite the bullet on him. He's a very good ball-playing defender, and importantly, can play left centre-back. Chelsea have been linked in the past, but I don't think we need another left-sided centre-back. Man United have also been linked, but it looks like they're getting Lenny Euro, so I don't think he's going there. Man City is an option, but they have quite a lot of centre-backs right now, so maybe only if somebody leaves. For that reason, it's a bit hard to find him a club, but I think a good move would be Aston Villa. They're back in the Champions League this season and are very ambitious, so it would be a slight step up from Palace, and they have some good centre-back options in Pau Torres and Ezri Konsa, but if Guehi was to come in, I think he would start most games and be great in that system with a high line under Emery. He would thrive. The only other option than Villa for me is maybe Liverpool, but I don't know if he can actually start every game there. So yeah, Aston Villa for me is a move, or just stay at Palace another year, see what happens with Ollie Glasner as well, and then maybe you have another great year this year, and next year you can really make a move to a bigger club. Because right now, I don't think there's too many huge clubs shopping in the centre-back market, unfortunately, for Guehi. But fantastic tournament and fantastic player. Okay, number 6, we have Alexander Prass. Austria were one of the bright sparks of this tournament, particularly for group stages, stunning France and Netherlands to top the group. One of their star players was Alexander Prass. The Sturm Graz man can play in midfield, but is down the left where he featured most frequently at Euro 2024, and he was an important part in helping Austria's impressive attack. Unlike some other players who maybe had mediocre years at club level and shined at the Euros, Prass had a fantastic year at club level too, and carried that form into the Euros. With Sturm Graz he won the league and got an impressive 7 goals and 4 assists. He is still young, only aged 23, and is very versatile as he's capable of playing left wing back or in midfield, which is a great trait to have nowadays in the inverted fullback role. He He's shown he can perform not only in the Austrian league, but at the highest level by playing great at the Euros, grabbing an assist at the tournament, and I would love to see him make a move. Of course, I know he's not from Salzburg, but a natural progression for players from the Austrian league is to go to RB Leipzig, which could be a good move, and I think the Bundesliga is most likely his next step, as that's where most Austrians tend to go. I think he could play for some high-level clubs as well, and personally, I actually think Dortmund should think about it. They've lost Ian Martin, their left-back, so they're going to need a new one, and Prass could play there, as well as play in midfield, so I think that's a sensible transfer, but he's a player I'm really looking forward to, as he has a lot of potential, so definitely watch this space. Right, number 7, we have Dan Ndoye. Switzerland performed very well at the Euros, narrowly getting knocked out by England, and one of their best players was Dan Ndoye. Ndoye was great going forward for Switzerland with his electric dribbling and pace on the break, causing problems for teams. Germany were hurt by him in the groups as he scored a great goal and showed he can be very clinical in front of goal. Overall, he looked really pressing and dangerous for Switzerland and was one of their best players out wide and could also play in a central role. His dribbling in particular was one of the best at the tournament. He's another Bologna boy who played a load of games for Thiago Motta last season, although he didn't impress as much as the likes of Xerxes, Calafoli and others. But he still had a solid season, and age 23, he has a lot of potential and good raw attributes. As for clubs, I think West Ham or Wolves would be perfect spot for him, more so Wolves though. With his pace and dribbling ability, we've seen him be great at just running at opponents, particularly on the counter-attack with space. Wolves under O'Neill are one of the best in the league at this with their pacey wingers, with Neto and Hwang being devastating on the counter. And I think Ndoye would fit right into that. And a similar story at West Ham with the way they play as well. So those two spots would be perfect for a player like Dan Ndoye. Number 8, Nico Williams. Right, from one electric winger to another, Nico Williams has been absolutely sensational this tournament. Clubs were already looking at him intently, but after his performances at the Euros, the whole of Europe is now on alert, and pretty much every team looking for a left winger will want him as priority. I don't need to tell you how good he is. We've all seen him tear up pretty much every fullback at these Euros, and he's proven that he is ready to take that step up from Bilbao. So many top clubs have been interested, with PSG, Arsenal, Barca, Chelsea, United and others linked. So let me go through each one and tell you what I think. Barcelona have been the biggest link, and it would make sense. They need a left winger, and of course we've seen how good the pair of him and Yamal can be. But the problem here is Barcelona simply do not have the money to buy him. So unless they make a load of sales or magically pull a load of levers, which don't pass them to do so, I'm not sure if Barcelona can actually afford to get Nico Williams. Chelsea, similar story. It would be great, but I think this is slightly out of Chelsea's budget. We still have Mikhailo Mudryk and Sterling on the left, who we would need to offload before buying him. It doesn't look like they're moving, so Chelsea, no. Arsenal would be a good move if Arsenal wanted to upgrade their wings, but similar to Chelsea, they've already got Martinelli and Trossard out there, so I'm not sure if left winger is really a priority for them. Man United, same story. If they offload Rashford, then sure, get him in, but if they can't, they really won't be able to afford him and won't really need him. So, that leaves one club. It's a bit boring, but PSG is the best option and most likely destination if Barcelona cannot afford him, in my opinion. Mbappe is gone, so they need a left wing replacement. They have Barcola, who's a good player, but they could do with somebody else out there to compete with him, and Williams would be perfect. With a new direction they're going in terms of younger, less superstar type names, Williams would be great, and they have the money to make it happen. So I think Williams to PSG is a boring move, but makes total sense. Ideally though, the Barcelona move is the one. That's if they can make it happen without liquidating their entire club. Right, number 9. We have Ferdi Kadioglu. Fenerbahce's rampaging left-back was one of the many bright sparks as Turkey sprung another surprise at Euro 2024. Kadioglu had already attracted admirers before the tournament, and now there is talk of Premier League interest in such a versatile player. He was ever present at left back throughout the tournament for Turkey, but he can also play at right back or in midfield. Technically gifted and tactically aware enough to play a huge variety of roles, his stats in the summer show just how wide-ranging his abilities are. He ranked among the top players at the entire tournament in a number of different categories: distance carrying the ball, tackles per 90, chances created. Honestly, he was terrific, and is a very, very good player. His performances this summer give good reason to believe he can make the step up to one of Europe's biggest leagues. A number of clubs are now interested, including Liverpool and Man United, and naturally with his versatility, he would be a great option for many, many clubs. Personally, I feel he should look to go to a club where he can actually play quite a bit, and not go to like a Liverpool United and be used just as a utility man. I would say potentially Crystal Palace would be really fun, as Tyron Mitchell was great under Glasner last season, but he's not really a naturally attacking fullback, and Kadioglu is, so I reckon he would thrive under that Glasner system. Other places, maybe West Ham, they'll be looking for an upgrade at left back. He would be really good there. I think he should definitely move to somewhere at that level, to be honest, as I feel like he would just waste his time if he went to a Liverpool and just sat on the bench as a utility guy. He's too good for that, in my opinion. I think he should go to a upper mid-table Prem side where he can start regularly. Okay, and finally, number 10, we have N'Golo Kante. Now, it feels a bit odd calling a 33-year-old Champions League Premier League winner a breakout star, but Kante kinda has been. Breakout star in a very different way. Kante has rolled back the years in Germany this summer, providing plenty of the all-action pitch play that he made his name with. Many assumed when he went to Saudi he was basically retiring, and that was the end of him at the top level. But he was a surprise inclusion in the Euro squad, with many skeptical he could perform. He has since looked like he never left and back to his best, proving he's more than capable of playing for a top European side one more time if he wishes to. Maybe this tournament has given him that buzz, but he wants to compete for major honours again, and I think he's shown that if a club wanted a 1 or 2 year gamble, they probably could take it. He has actually been linked with a return to Chelsea, but that's very unrealistic, as we don't really need him under our model. I think our directors would probably have a heart attack at the thought of signing a 33-year-old. Barcelona would probably be interested, but I don't think they have the money to pay for his wages, and whatever the transfer fee would be. If he was to leave Saudi though, it would probably be in Jordan Henderson fashion. He'd have to terminate his contract and take a big pay cut, or maybe a loan for a year could work. Anyways, in terms of clubs, I have 2 options. A return to France and PSG could be great, as you know, they love a superstar signing. And just for a year or 2 to help the team in the Champions League, it could be great. Kante won't be able to play every game, so if you can rest him in Liga and then in the Champions League, he could be that weapon that helps them win it, while helping to develop youngsters such as Zaire Emery and Vitinha. They still kind of need a defensive midfielder as well, especially if Kante leaves, so Kante could be great. The other option, which is a massive wildcard, which defo won't happen, but would make sense in my opinion is Real Madrid. Madrid have lost Toni Kroos in the midfield, and with Modric another year older, they maybe could do with another body in there. Kante, of course, has a great connection with Tchouaméni and Camavinga, so would slot into a midfield very well with them. They also have Mbappe, who again works well with Kante, and that front three could be very attacking at times, not too much tracking back or pressing, so Kante would really make up for that extremely well. He could for 1 or 2 years just help develop Tchouaméni and Camavinga. They can learn from him, similar to how Kroos and Modric have been helping them. He can also be rested quite a bit and managed well in those big games. He'll be so useful for them, particularly in the Champions League. It's a bold move, and one that definitely won't happen, but it makes sense, at least in my head. Although most likely Kante will stay in Saudi and just enjoy his life there. Okay, so those are 10 Euro breakout stars who your club should sign. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you have enjoyed, please leave a like. Consider subscribing. And I will see you in another video. Peace.